Now, I buried the lead. I should have opened the show with it, but I had all that stuff about aged care I wanted to get to. Tonight's No Sooks, No Lefties, and these are some of your favourite shows in the world. Two perfect examples of it. One is in Adelaide, and eventually he'll come to the man cave, is the lovely Corey Bernardi, but the man in the man cave is Michael Kroger.
Oh, hey, mate. Good to see you.
Hello.
Yeah, we're in sunny Sydney.
Indeed, you get to be the carryover champ now, so Corey, good luck getting a word in here. Now, before we get to more significant international matters and the big stuff about aged care, what about today? We started to learn the numbers about just how much money has been piddled against the wall in the Commonwealth Games that will never happen in Victoria, because the annual report was released today by the now defunct Commonwealth Games organisers. How's this? Victorian taxpayers have been slugged $11 million for staff who worked at this organisation, who of course were supposed to be there for many years but didn't end up obviously being needed. But they all got paid. Victorian taxpayers were slugged more than $11 million to pay the staff of the failed 2026 Commonwealth Games, including $500,000 for one bureaucrat in particular. The whopping salary was revealed in the annual report that showed 10 people got more than 300 grand and 32 people got more than 180 grand. And by the way, anyone who was part of the 13-member board to organise that ultimately wasn't needed, including the Richmond Football Club president, Peggy O'Neill, can you hand some money back, please? Because they've got $700,000 for the early organising of something that never happened. One board member took home $359,999. The other 12 got about 100 grand. 5 members got between $40,000 and $50,000. Now, you would think that someone might have to explain any of this, including the minister responsible for the Games and those contracts. But of course, Jacinta Allen's now the Premier and won't turn up to the upper house inquiry.
What point are you trying to make here, Paul?
Dear God is what I'm trying to make here. $11 million bucks.
Quite seriously, there's got to be a point at which malfeasance in public office is a law which applies to these people that squander the public's money in a brazen and disgusting way and just walk away without a care in the world. No public company directors would survive this kind of scandal, this outrageous misuse of the middle-class taxpayers' money.
100%.
Yet these people just say, they thumb their nose at the public and move on.
But also, Corey, I love the way the system works, and the more I spend time looking at it, the more I hate it, right? So I understand why people who've been around it longer than me feel the way they do about it, right? And it's why so many young people get thrown into the system, because they, oh, isn't this wonderful? There's nothing wrong. There's plenty wrong here, right? Including, of course, remember, Daniel Andrews doesn't have to account for any of this because he's out of office. Oh, but he'll get a pension for the rest of his life. So he gets the money forever, but no responsibility once he hands the gun and the badge back.
Yeah, this is the thing that infuriates people, that politicians make bad mistakes. They cost taxpayers hundreds of billions of dollars a year over the forward estimates in wasted money and crazy projects. And then they skate off into the sunset. They either get cosy jobs on the AAT they used to get, or made diplomats, or they've got the old pension scheme. In this case, I've learned now how Daniel Andrews managed to win elections. That was because he had so many people on the payroll in the public servants and all these well-paid jobs, they kept voting for him. And secondly, I understand why Victoria's broke, for exactly the same reason. This is a debacle, and malfeasance is exactly what it is, and heads should roll, but they won't.
Well, again, it's the selective outrage about these things, right? Like, you would think all of that is an ingredient for someone to lose a job somewhere, right?
No.
You would also think that there would be an ingredient when the Trade Minister picks a former one-term senator to be the trade representative for Australia in California for a job he didn't apply for, but somebody else applied for, was the preferred candidate. You would think that would be a scandal, because that's normally the ingredient. So let's just take
Sometimes the roulette wheel lands on your number.
Yeah.
And that's what happened.
The luck, the endless luck. But again,
incredible luck.
They know the gallery ain't following
Not when I'm betting.
Because the gallery's still turning around trying to work out, how to put Humpty Dumpty back together again after The Voice.